Family. Hope everyone had a blessed and rejuvenating weekend. We had an extended week, no trading on Monday, so keep in mind we have a short week this week. Going to get straight into the watch list, but before I do, I want to mention any red news that we have. On Wednesday, we have FOMC minutes where they talk about the last FOMC. Thursday, we have prelim at 8:30 a.m. and unemployment claims. And finally on Friday, we have core PCE price index at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to jump right into the names that I'm watching this week. These names could expand into next week as well as they have beautiful setups. We're going to start with Amazon or AMZU. I like the way Amazon popped up, then pulled back. It's now sitting on the OTE at the 50% level. Looking for that 2-2 rev on a daily to then trigger the week. You want to trigger the week 2-2 rev on the week as well at $33.33. We did pull back. We will open up inside on this, so it may consolidate some more before taking off. And another discrepancy, it can pull back just a little bit more. If it does pull back, I expect it to pull back down to 29.42. And if it does that, this play is still valid. But if not, we want to get that 2-2 rev, and then we want to execute on that PMG to the upside, taking out these pivots and at least get into 36.09 as a target and at least 38.81. Here's some contracts that I will be looking at. We're looking at the monthlies of 20th of June, 133 calls for 1.55. And here's the targets. Again, we want to at least touch these targets by June 6th. We got 35.10, 33.33, and 36.09 was being the last target. And that second to last target, oh no, yeah, third target, 35.01 for 91.74. So I really want to hit this 36.09, which is right there. That's right there. That could happen in 2 days. One day if you get a crazy move. But again, a month of time to hit just 36.09. That's why I'm confident that we can at least reach 38.81. And let's add that in. And that's a 290% plus return on investment if he was to hit that target by the 6th. And again, we got time on these contracts, so we will always spread it out. Let's say about the 13th. Even by the 13th, these are still great numbers, right? 36.09, over 100% return. So the risk to reward on this trade is absolutely fabulous. All you need is the market to respond and to agree with the move, and this one should pay out. The next name we'll be looking at is HIMS. Let's start with the month. HIMS has full time frame continuity to upstart starting on the month. On the week, we did turn red. We did pull back, and we are expected to open up inside week on the yeah, we expected to open up inside week this week. We finally got that pullback. We had an aggressive push for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks straight. So we finally got a pullback, which is a healthy pullback. But now we want to see if we can hold the previous week low of 51.20 and get that 2-1-2 rev back to the upside and eventually take out the previous week high, which be a 2-2 rev on the week as well. Keep in mind, the only discrepancy with this one is we are at equal highs. So you may see some turbulence around 72.98 to around $70 per share. But if we can reach above that, this one should print. One of the targets I have is, again, previous week high at 63.67 and another target at 64.82. I do like next week's for these. Let's put in those targets, 64.82. These targets are already in, but I just want to fix the time frame on these. And we want to at least hit these by this week or by the 6th. So let's see this week. So if we can hit these targets by this week, you see we have 62.80, 63.47, should be 160 return on investment, and we have 64.82. So again, 64.82 is only right there. This can happen in one move or two moves. We're going to give ourselves a whole week to at least get up there, just in case we consolidate some more. Again, perfect setup. We just have to see how the market follow through on this. But I like the way the contracts pay if we was to hit these targets by next week. So target 1 being 62.80, 62.80 is right there. And these are equal highs as well. So you should see some turbulence around 62.80. But you can take that as you can take profit at that first target or leave runnings. I think this is a good setup. I'm liking the way it's looking. Let's check out the 6 hour. 6 hour has a 131. So we want that 1312 push to the upside with a mini gap to fill. And we got the 4 hour, which is a 212 to the upside. Like in the way this one is looking. Next ticker is Moderna. I don't like where Moderna is right now, but I just cannot ignore the setup. So it's been getting stomped on. Continuity to the downside. Month is red as well. Been sitting down here since earnings. And now we have the week. The week is in a shooter. But what has my attention with this ticker is particularly the daily. What I'm looking at is how price is holding this little range that we have here. I love the way price is holding this basin area, right? And we are now using that basin area as support. The reason why I say this is because we did get a move out the basin area. We had a 1, 2, 3 day move, which was beautiful, but now it's received its pullback. It's also created a new high as well, breaking the previous highs to the left around 28.35. Now that we got the pullback, this is a perfect entry to catch the wave back to the upside if it decides to push. And it's given us not only a failed 2 down from Thursday, but it gave us an actual signal, a one candle that closed green on Friday as well. So you want to catch that 212 to the upside, and you want to at least push. This could be a day trade or a small time swing trade as well, like not a long-term swing, but a short-term swing as well. You want to hit the targets of 28.35. You want to hit the targets of $30.30. Again, this one can run pretty decently. We are sitting at the low of the lows, but it look like it's base in this area. The pop from here, the pops here, and let's see if we get that rev to the upside. We also coming out the OTE. We had the golden zone of 61.80. So I'm definitely interested in this one for some quick gains. Here's the contracts we'd be looking at. So actually, I came to find that the monthlies are the best for this trade. Let's start with the weeklies for 65 cents. If we was to hit these targets of 27.90 by Friday, 28.35 by Friday, and 30.30 by Friday, here's the percent return that you look at. But looking at June 6th, decent as well. And remember, 30.30 is not that far. 30.30 is only right there. 28.35 is only right there. So it's like a 1 day move that we want to get it for, like 28.35, right? But the monthlies is the safest for 84 cents. We got a 70% return on investment, over 100% return on investment if he was to hit that by Friday. And it doesn't even have to hit by Friday. You can hit it by next week on the 9th. Not the 9th, but June 6th. And that'd be touching barely 30%, but this is the target that we want, 30.30. That's over 100%. So I like the way Moderna looking down there. Next tick I'm gonna talk about is KO. I like the way KO is basing. I also like the way KO closed as an inside hammer as well. Then closed green, but I love the way it's holding its previous quarter low of 71.62. I believe the quarter is green as well. I'm gonna drop down to this week. Again, him on the week, looking at the day, him on the day as well. So double stack actual signals. We got a lot of buildup on this point of control. If you know about the point of control, this is where an area or price range where a lot of shares has been brought or sold, usually priced like the wrap around this point of control and use it as a launching pad. So we're expecting an explosive move to the upside pretty soon. And what matches that thesis is the consolidation it's been having for the past week and a day. So it's been consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks straight. It did try to dip, and what they did, they brought it right back up. So this has my attention. We could expect a very explosive move pretty soon. It could consolidate some more, but if it does, just keep eyes on this. Looking at calls above 71.99, and we're gonna look at the contracts. We got the June 6th, 51. You can run with monthlies if you want to. want to hit a target of at least 73.48 and then 74.38. So here's 73.48. This is about a six, only a 17% return. And you got 74.38. That's over 170% return. And then we have, yeah, so you guys can also play around with other contracts. You can run with the monthlies, but again, this move can happen pretty quick. We just want to give ourselves the best probability of hitting that by just adding a little bit of time because you never know with consumer staples. Sometimes they could take a little longer than expected to hit the target, but we get surprised and it's gonna hit in 2 days, right? If we get that nice move. So loving the way KO is looking there. Next ticker I'm talking about is PLTR. I like the way PLTR ran up and pulled back. So it's giving like this cup and handle kind of setup. Aside from that, we do have a PMG to the upside. It did close, failed two down on a daily as well. It's weak. It's also inside weak. So if it breaks below 119.41, then this trade would be invalid. But I'm favoring the upside for now because I'm liking the way this daily is just sitting. Also, it's sitting in the OTE as well, right on top of the 50%. Run down to the 6 hour. We got some buildup happening there. Got a pennant happening there as well. So you want to see that 312 to the upside, close above 125.41. You want to at least hit 130.33 and then 133.49. These are short-term targets. It can go much higher than that, but that would be a blue sky breakout after 133.49. So checking out the tick contracts, we got some weeklies here. Remember, it's a short week. Let's hit the 30. If we was to hit 130.33, that'd be a 58%. 133.49, that's over a 200%. So 133.49 is right there. If you want more time on this, you go to June 6th for 305 and pretty much the same results. Hit that by the 6. 130.33 will go negative and you will be barely slapping 30% on 133.49, but you will be above 100% if you was to go to all-time highs at 135.96. So not bad, not bad. We just want to get a move immediately out of this one. So let's see what tech does. Next ticker is Etsy. I still like Etsy. I called this one. It went green, but then it pulled back last week. But then it's still consolidating. So we have a bullish pennant on Etsy. The month is still inside, but the week has a nice setup as well. The week is a fail two down. So you want to get that inside day to trigger the 2-2 rev on the week. Above the price of $48.44. We eventually want to touch the target of $49.67 and then 51, which would be the previous month high. And the previous month high trigger as well. That will go two down, two up as well. And then we can take profit around that area. But this one is very explosive. Not only that, it's very explosive, the contracts, all it needs to do is move and the contracts will start printing immediately. Let's check that out. So even if you was to buy some monthlies, again, here's the targets, right? So if you look at 51, that's 94% by the 6. So you're not even counting the 30 yet, right? I don't expect it to hit that fast, but you never know what the market give you. So just looking at the 6, that's still over near 100% return. 51.39 will be over 100%. 50.10, look how close 50.10 is. 50.10 is like right around this range, right? That's 50.10. That can happen in one day or a day and a half. So I'll show that to say this ticker just need to literally just move and these contracts will start paying. Here's 50.10 again, 80%. I will take 80% on some monthlies in a day. That's beautiful movement in my opinion. You don't have to hold for eternity or dear life. If you have a small port and you want to compound, you can take your money. You can take your money. If you have runners, then leave the runners, right? If we happen to get above this previous month high, which is around 51, you can tap 52, and then finally we can tap 53.90, which is right here. And I really think the monthlies can hit 53.90. and that'd be over a 300% return. Let's check that by six, still over a 250% return. But all this trade need to do is move. Been squeezing here for a long time. I think it's ready. Do not hesitate on this one. Close above 47.88. Don't hesitate. Invalid below the 50% level. If it has to stay below. I'm not talking about a sweep and you just get out because you're nervous. It has to stay below 45.80. If it's sweep and go back above, this trade is still valid. You just gotta wait. Next ticker, Abiva. I think some people are sleeping on these healthcare. All right. Abiva doesn't have full-time frame continuity, still inside on the month, but the week is what has my attention. We are pulled back inside the OTE zone, 50% zone. We do have a doji on the week. Can go either way, but I am favoring the upside. And on that daily, we got some consolidation going on right here. And this could be arguably, this could be a pennant as well. Okay. So we got some consolidation, some squeezing going on there. I also like the way we are holding the previous year close at 177.70, which is on top of the previous resistance here. So we holding that level, and it looked like Abivi might be ready to head back to the upside, right? We did close green. We want to get that two up continuation, take out this previous week high. The previous week high would trigger that 212. And then we want to eventually reach 192.60, excuse me, 192.69. So check out that analyze tab. Monthlies would be the best choice for this. And again, 192.69 is just under 90% return on investment. 192.69 is right there, not too far. That can happen in 1 week, 2 days, right? Then you got 198.98. 198.98 will be over 200% return on investment. Another ticker, all it has to do is move. All it has to do is start moving. And these contracts will print handsomely. Got time on it just because you want to play this one safe. It could take more time. If you want to go with the June 6th, I wouldn't go. These contracts kind of look crazy. I don't like the way they look. So that's why I just went with the monthlies, right? Loving Abbey I like the way that one look. This could take more than 1 week to rip off. Again, just because it's on this current week watch list, don't mean that it will pop on this week. This one could pop off next week as well. But as long as it holds previous year close 177.70, this trade is still valid and still squeezing for a move. Next ticker, we have our eyes on some utilities. I like AEP. AEP, starting with the month, not full time frame continuity, but the week is what stands out to me. The week went two up and then it did pull back. These are some hard levels here. This is one of the discrepancies. This previous year high used to be support for these previous weeks that you see. So do expect some pullback around that area, 105.18. But the daily is what stands out a lot. We are in the basin area or demand zone, right? So this zone right here seems to have a lot of buyers stepping in every time. You can see in previous price, they stepped in here, stepped in here, they stepped in right here. This was a nice 4-day move to the upside. Another nice 4-day move to the upside. And now we came down, they swept it, and now we back in that zone. And then we do have an actual signal in the hammer just sitting there in that basin area. So we want to catch that. We want to get that 212 to the upside, and we want to eventually get back up to that previous year high. And then we want to get to 107.32. I never traded this one before, but I don't want to ignore the setup. So 107.32 by the 6 for the monthlies would be over 100%. To me, that is dope. That is great. Again, this could happen in 3 days, 1 week. All right. Again, that 107.32 area will be some turbulence. So you could take profit there, leave a runner, see what happens from there. And yes, I'm liking the way this is looking. Let's check out the 6 hour really quickly. The 6 hour has a 3-2, pull back just a little bit, and the 4 hour has a 3-2 as well. But again, loving that hammer on the daily. You want to get out that basin range, want to hit that 105.18. Then we want to get to that 107.32. And then we're going to see what happens from there. It could pull back from there, right? I've seen some people mention NEE. NEE look beautiful as well. So we're going to discuss that in the group. Next one I like is TSL or Tesla. We're going to look at TSLL. I love the way this one look. To me, in my opinion, Tesla can go either way. I'm favoring the upside for now, but if the market decides it want to dip, don't be afraid to short this. I'm only saying that because this is equal highs here. We did pull back here in the past. I'm always paying attention to past price. So we could see this. That can happen. Um, so just keep that in mind. I am favoring the upside for right now. So use that as a stop. If price stay below 130, 13.82, then this trade is invalid. But I like the way this is a 212 again, could go either way. We want that 212 pop to 1585. Do we want to get to 17? Do we want to get to 18.60? Again, Tesla is the same thing. Same thing. So if you want to rock with Tesla, you can. If you want to go with TSLL, you can. This could be the downside can be played as a day trade as well. Doesn't have to be a swing. Can go with a weekly on the downside if we do trigger the downside, right? But you only do that if we have to pivot. Looking at the analyze tab, I don't think I analyzed any crazy contracts for this one. But we got the June 20th, 15. So you go to 1217. Get the 1217. So about a 6. If you hit 17, that's 54%. If you hit 18.60, that's over 100. 18.60 is all the way up here. To get that explosive move, that can happen sooner than you guys think. And 17 can happen. It's right there. Looking at the June 2015s, not bad as well. And yeah, like the way that look. If we hit the downside again, puts, weeklies, at the money puts, and you might just want to get in and get out on those because you can't see a bounce after the gap fill at 1198. Last but not least, XYZ. I've been eyeballing Square Cash, aka Block. They changed the name. And man, this could go crazy for next quarter and not only next quarter, it can go crazy next month as well. They got some hammers at the doodle lows at the bottom. Nobody's really watching this one. Look at the month. The month got an outside. So you get that, you got all these wicks down here. There's none but buying. These institutions are sitting down here. I like the way it look. I like the way the charts look. Yeah, I like the way the charts look. Coming to the week also closed as an inside week, and it closed as an actual signal. So if we could clear these equal highs that has been struggling at for the previous weeks, I think price can get up to the previous quarter low at 63.93 and eventually touch 66.90. Let's check out that daily. The daily has a pennant going on inside there. They closed two up, pull back a little bit. Again, we just want to clear these equal highs and get back to that previous quarter low. I like the way this setup is looking. Peep the 6 hour. The 6 hour has a 131, so you want that 1 3 1 2 pop to the upside. Your guys don't got to swing this one, but I expect this to get probably like tomorrow. You could expect a pop and pull back and retest before it runs, really runs. Right. Here's the targets: 66.90, 63.93, 61.54. Analyze. Looking at the June 6th for these, we got the 63.93. If we hit these on the 30th, so all it has to do is move. 61.54, 60% return on investment. 61.54 is right there. That's a one-day move. So you want to day trade this and you catch the entry, you hit 61.54, that's right there. That can happen in one day. And remember, these are set for Friday, so you'll still see a nice space hit on that. 63.93 is 159, and we have 66.90 over 300%. Put that to the 6. Next Friday, you will have 124 on that 63.93, and then you have just under 300% for 66.90. I like the way this setup look. This can happen in 2 days if the market agrees. And again, just playing the same setups over and over and over. Again, set your alerts so you won't miss these. You have the targets, you have the cons. All you have to do is execute. All right. Take care. That concludes the watch list for this week.